Big spoilers for Elbaf. However, there is a scene in which Bonney can be seen saving Sanji after Sanji was decimated by Emu's explosion. And I think this is a very cute return of a favor, because back in Egghead, it was Sanji who saved Bonney from being shot by Kizaru. And I think this is starting to be a blossoming of a very beautiful friendship between the two, because it's very interesting that from very early on in Egghead, Bonney always really liked Sanji because he was a man who was good at fighting and at cooking, and Sanji saves her multiple times actually through Egghead. But I think the rub here, talking about Egghead, is that Sanji is what Kuma could not be. Even though I do think it's very charming, and I personally wanted this, that Bonney hangs out with Frankie because possibly Frankie reminds her of her dad because both of them are gigantic cyborg men. I do think Frankie and Sanji are kind of two parts of Kuma, because even though Frankie is a cyborg very similar to Kuma, Sanji is the story of Kuma that turned out for the better as opposed to the worse. Because in Kuma's story, he fell into the depths of his own modifications and ended up losing his humanity, right? But in Sanji's case, he was fated for the same situation. However, thanks to his passion for his food and friends, he was able to rise above the occasion and be better than any of his siblings despite his German modifications. So I do think there's a parallel between these three, and it's very cute that Bonney has had unique interactions with both Frankie and Sanji, and it's very interesting that Frankie's father and Sanji's father, Judge and Queen, have both worked with Vegapunk, and of course Vegapunk is responsible for modifying Bonney's father, Kuma. It's also pretty funny that all of them end up being food themed. Frankie is beverage themed, and he gets a power up in Elbaf, of which Bonney witnesses with the Super Vega Cola. Sanji, of course, is a chef, and Bonney is a glutton whose favorite food is pizza. So it's very funny that they are more food themed than anyone else currently on the Straw Hats. And I do think Bonney should be a Straw Hat, because even with little scenes like this in chapter 1181, it really is building up Bonney's character more so than I can say for somebody else who recently joined. But I won't be salty towards that character in this video. Anyway, with that being said, if you're enjoying the content so far, click the like button. And if you want to see more from me, hit the subscribe button followed by that bell so you never miss a video. And if you could, please hype this video because it really does help. So with that being said too, give me your thoughts and tell your friends about Polypede. What's